and beautiful. I will love the land, the air, the water, and all living creatures. I will be a defender of my planet, united with friends. I will save the earth.
My name is Commissioner Frank Avila. I'm a commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. And the name of our show today is Election 2020. And as my guest, I have Chelsey R. Robinson.
Yes.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Chelsey is running for the Cook County Circuit Court, 2nd Judicial Subcircuit.
Yes.
Yeah. And also I have Dean, my host, Dion.
Yes.
Dean, and he's running.
For Cook County Water Reclamation.
And what's your punch or ballot number?
My punch number is 132. Clean water for you.
And you, Chelsey?
Yes. My punch number is 233. A vote for you and a vote for me.
Well, thank you for being on the show, Chelsey.
Thank you.
A judge for the 2nd Subcircuit.
Yes.
In Cook County. Now, Chelsey, how long have you been practicing law? Because to run for judge, you have to be a lawyer?
You have to be a lawyer, yeah.
Okay.
And I've been blessed enough to practice law for 23 years, doing criminal and civil litigation, which I love. So criminal law, I've done misdemeanor trials, felony trials, ranging from murder all the way down to disorderly conduct for misdemeanor. I've done civil trials, including personal injury, employment discrimination cases, family law cases. So I've done a variety of things in the law, and it's very important when we elect our judges, we elect judges who are experienced, judges with trial experience, and judges who have a variety of experience, and judges who can be fair and compassionate.
Oh, interesting. What do you think about that, Dion?
I mean, I think she's on the right path. I do have a question, like, what inspired you to just, with the things that you're doing, I know a little bit about your background and some of the things that you have been doing. What inspired you to just say, I'm just going to take this leap and I'm going to go for judge?
Well, it actually all started when I was young, and I aspired to be an attorney. I saw a need in the community. I saw that people who looked like me and from my community were not being treated the same. And I vowed as a young child that I was going to become an attorney and make sure that we had a quality, affordable, legal representation within my community. So I started there. I opened up my own law firm where I had the opportunity to go out into my community and to be able to assist people with legal representation and make sure that it was affordable. And now I want to be able to fight for justice on the other side of the bench. And I think I can reach more people, making sure that we have true equality on a bench. Make sure that we're not just filling up the jails and we're looking at alternative resolutions as far as just locking people up. And making sure that we also keep our community safe. Making sure that everyone that comes before me is actually being heard and that they have a meaningful day in court.
And now you're running in the 2nd Judicial Subcircuit.
That's correct.
How big of an area is that?
That is a pretty big area. It starts on the south side of Chicago at approximately 83rd Street and goes all the way down to the south suburbs, 87th. It's 94 to the east and 57 to the west. As far as the actual wards, we have the 9th Ward, the 34th Ward, the 21st Ward, and a couple of blocks in the 19th Ward. For the south suburbs, we have so many different suburbs, the Hazelcrest, East Hazelcrest, Markham, Harvey, South Highland, Posen, Robbins, Calumet Park, So a little bit of Dalton is in there as well. Homewood, Glenwood, and Thornwood.
And they call that a sub-circuit.
Yeah,
So to
that's
me-
a sub-circuit.
To me, that sounds like the county.
I didn't know it was that big. I'm like, you're giving a lot of information.
So,
And I've had the pleasure to be a lifelong resident of that sub-circuit. So I've lived in that
You understand
circuit.
people.
I'm a stakeholder in that sub-circuit. My church, my family, we're spread out throughout the sub-circuit. And I've basically been giving all of my services to that sub-circuit, and I want to continue to serve the sub-circuit as a judge.
interesting. Yeah, Dion, you're running not for sub-circuit, you're running for,
the entire Cook County.
Yes.
for what
For
race
Cook
is that?
County Water Reclamation.
Cook County, and why did you want to run for that office?
Again, you know, I've shared it on a number of occasions, is that I've had an opportunity to work with a water issue that was in my town during my tenure as mayor. And, you know, it just piqued my interest because I was able to get that situation taken care of, and then it just said, hey, you might as well run for the position. There's a vacancy in the community, which is the south suburban area, south side of the city of Chicago, and I think that I have the experience and the public background to be able to get into that position and make a difference.
Yeah, here we have Chelsey's running for a judge, which does different things than a commissioner,
Yes.
right? But you both are serving the people.
Yeah.
Right.
Both are serving, when you're elected and when people go into the ballot, what number do they?
When they go on the ballot, I need you to push 132, clean water for you, and that's what Dion Dean is going to be working hard for when I get on the commission.
Yeah, 1, 3, 2, and you,
132.
Chelsey, when they go to the ballot?
When you go to the ballot, punch 233, a vote for you and a vote for me. And what I love is that what Dion is saying is that he saw a need in our community,
Yeah.
and he worked very hard to address that need, and now he's going further, and I love it. And that's the people I like to surround myself
Yeah.
with, people who are doing stuff in our community, see a need in our community, and willing to make a change. So I
Yeah,
love it.
and also, they're running to serve the people, not serve themselves.
That's
I mean-
correct.
I mean, that's the key. The key, right now, a lot of us, Dion Dean, Chelsey, are running to serve the people because they saw the need in their community.
Well, Frank, you've been in your position for 18 years.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit? I mean, I know you're asking us questions, but tell me a little bit what inspired you and how has it been in that position of serving the people
Yeah.
for
Well,
you?
you know, Dion, I always wanted to run for office. And so I had an engineer, I have a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and a Master in Finance. And I had an engineering company for about over 30 years. I had about 80 employees. And I always wanted to run for office, so I said, if I'm going to run for office, I would pick an office that if I'm elected, if the good Lord willing, if I'm elected, I know what to do in that office. And so God was fortunate for me that I got elected. I got elected, and I got elected as the commissioner of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. Now, as Chelsey, she's a judge. People come before her, and they'll maybe give them a sentence or get them to go free. That's a judge. Legislator will pass laws. But our agency is an operational type of agency. We operate to take care of the health and welfare of the public in Cook County. So if that office fits what I was doing in my engineering company for 30 years. We designed and built sewers, roads, bridges, buildings, and I understood the whole operation. I have a master's in finance, so running business, I had to know how to fund my business and stay in business and not go broke. So I understood the financial end of it, what design and how to protect the health and welfare of the public, and I won the race. Yeah.
Now, Chelsey, you run your own law firm now?
That's correct.
So what? Give us a day in the life of Chelsey.
Well,
Life at Chelsea.
I've had the pleasure of having my own law firm for over 23 years. So the day in my life, I guess I treat every case that I have as if it's my case.
Yeah.
I'm personally invested. As an attorney, it's very important that we give quality legal service. So I start off with checking my emails, returning my calls, making sure that I meet the deadlines, or if I'm going to court, I'm in court for a period of time. And I'm also checking and calling on my clients and just making sure that they have everything that they need. Because a lot of times, one of the things I hear with attorneys is the clients say, the attorneys won't call me back. They won't do this, they won't do that. All of my clients have my personal cell phone number. They can call me, and they usually do any time of the day whenever they have an issue and problem, because it's my job to be there for them. When it's the same as you saw a need and you went to address it, and the same thing with my clients. When I see a need there, I'm doing everything I can to address that need, to make sure that their voice is being heard and that we can get the results that they're looking for. So I kind of love that, and I've also been blessed to be the attorney of a national syndicated television show. So when I'm not in the office taking care of my clients, I'm at the studio doing whatever they need me to do over there. And because I have that contract, I'm able to give more to my community, especially to provide affordable legal service, because legal services are something that people normally don't plan for. They don't save for, and it's unexpected. So they need attorneys that are willing to work with them, or even if you qualify to do things pro bono or free, to assist them and with certain legal needs. And that's why I also do expungement seminars. I work with different agencies. My own church, where my husband is the pastor at the Promised Land Missionary Baptist Church, we do expungement seminars every year. I also work with TREAD, which is a community organization within the Roseland community. Also, they do, among other things, expungement, and I'm a volunteer attorney there, and I also work with the clerk's office when they do expungement. So whatever I can do to fill that need, to make sure that we actually have equal justice, not just in the courtroom, but outside the courtroom, that the people in my community can also get jobs. Because there's no reason why someone who has a record from when they were 17 and now they're almost 50, and it's still hindering them from getting a job. So I'm trying to do my part.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned expunging. A lot of people don't understand what that is, because you mentioned if a person is 17 and he did something, he could go, and what could he do? Explain
Well,
that.
depending on what type of crime or what the sentence was, you can get that record expunged or sealed, which means expunged means it's erased, it's destroyed. So the circuit court will destroy those records, the state police will destroy those records, and then other people cannot look that up to see, oh, this happened to him and he pled guilty, or he got this sentence, or he had this slap on the wrist. And the same sealing is a little bit different, because with sealing, everything doesn't qualify for expungement. If not, let's see if it's qualified to be sealed. And seal, again, prevents people from the general public and most employers from seeing that record. And then when you go to apply for a job, you can say, I've never been convicted of a crime. So, and it's very important, because a lot of jobs look at that. I've had situations where people apply for a job and have received a job, and then when their criminal background come back, they let them go, they walk them out, and they're like, oh my God. So you want to make sure that it's supposed to be user-friendly, that people can do it on their own, but a lot of times it's a if then that, and a lot of people get confused. But there are a lot of agencies out there that are doing these things for free for the general public, and you definitely need to get it done. You don't want to be the one that's getting walked out about something you forgot all about that happened years ago. You've been 30 years, clean, never had been arrested. You don't want something to come back out of the closet and bite you. So
Well, today we have a lot of gun issues with a lot of young people getting their hands on guns, and how do you feel about that effect on their lives, and what can the system do? Because a lot of them are being arrested for having these weapons or even using the weapon for crimes. What's the scenario that you would give to really, some support to get these kids away from this?
Well, one of the things me and my husband, we're doing is we work and volunteer in the juvenile detention center. And we're trying to make sure that our youth really have a second chance. Not only we have done this for over 13 years. I started out some time ago. I think I was pregnant at the time, and now my oldest is 13, and my husband kind of stepped in and kind of took over with it, and we started the Provision Project, where we're mentoring youth in the Juvenile Detention Center on every Saturday, and that we're actually bringing trades into the Juvenile Detention Center for those who are not looking to go for a higher education. And sometimes you can make more money in the trades than you can with the higher education. You come out with all those student loans, and we're also trying to bring the trade in some of these abandoned schools within our community. It's a perfect place to have a trade school, so when people come out of the Juvenile Detention Center, we have partnered with other agencies so we can teach them the trade and they can become productive members of societies. We have also partnered with other community agencies so we can kind of minister to the whole family. Because sometimes it's not just the youth that's bad, it's something, other things that are going on in their household. You know, they could have, they could be being abused, it could be a money issue or food issue. So we have the community, we have to minister to the whole body, the whole family. That's where we start. And then those other issues with crime, then we can address those issues as well. So I think that's very important.
Now, Dion, what experience and skills will you bring when you're going to get elected as commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District?
Well, just a few things, Frank. You know, being able to deal with budgets. You know, being mayor, we had to deal with budgets in our community, as well as when I was the associate director for the state of Illinois, which was appointed by two of the governors to deal with budget. Also, my community connect, being able to outreach and connect the dots with other communities is extremely important, because as we're dealing with our water issues, it's not just Riverdale, the town I live in, it's Dalton that's right across the street, Harvey that's right across the street. They're having the same issues that we're having. What can we do? And we need someone who knows how to be able to sit down with that mayor's caucus, speak their language, but understand that we can come together and get some of those projects done on a broader scale if we come together. And so that means identifying issues, having meetings to do those things. I have that ability and skill set to do that. But as well as that, just, you know, when it comes to, we talked about trades and being able to get into the schools. I've worked with a lot of youth organizations. One of the things I've done as working in the state was after-school programs, and we put money into it. I'd love to be able to talk about trades and things that we do through the water reclamation that can get some of these kids, you know, jobs. Get them gainfully employed. You said it best. A lot of people don't want to go to college and do 4 years, but they can't have a skill set. So those are the things I'm looking forward to doing, being able to go in there and speak with them. But as well as that, Frank, negotiations, talking about contracts.
Yeah.
I had to work with that, RFQs, RFPs, when I worked in the state of Illinois. Also, as a mayor, we've had to go after things through RFQs and RFPs. I'm very skill set in being able to do that as well. But I want to be able to teach those business owners out there what they need to do in order to come at the contracts if they want to be a principal person on a project in the water reclamation, if they want to do a subcontract. We have to be able to get out there, and we need to know those skills as well. So those are some of the things that I bring to the table.
Yeah, and you know, you're right, you know, both goes to the same goal,
right,
but in a different way.
And there's so many ways that we can reach that goal through different areas. And that's why I like to work with different people, not just attorneys, but everyone, because we have so much to bring in. You have so many different connections that I don't have. You know, I'm working on the legal end and with some of the community service, but I don't have the same connect with the mayor caucus and all of that. And those things are important. We need to make sure that our voice is being heard.
And that's why it's good, of all your experience, that you be a qualified judge.
Yes,
When
yes.
come March 17, when you're elected, you go into that role and you'll have all the experience and knowledge to be a judge.
Yes, yes.
Because a judge, why is a judge so important?
The judge is so important because a lot of times you are going to be in front of a judge or face a judge before you face any other elected official. A lot of times people, they don't even know what people do in the water wreck. They don't hear about it until they're ready to vote, but everybody hears about the judge. It could be as simple as a traffic ticket, or it can be as serious as a felony, being charged with a felony, it could be family law, it could be have to do with your income, your livelihood. And we want to make sure that those people are actually being fair, that those people are compassionate, those people are experienced. We want the judge to know what he or she is doing.
Compassion. You mentioned
compassion, yeah. And we don't want them to look to the state's attorney or some other attorney to tell them what to do. They need to know what they're doing. We want somebody who has tried a case, and we want somebody who's going to be compassionate. And guess what? We also want somebody from the community.
Right.
We want some people who look like us and who are for us and who have done things in our community, not the people, like you said, just see an opportunity for themselves and then come into the community. What have you been doing in the community before you decided that there was an opening in my sub-circuit? So that's the question that we need to ask. And when we know those people are showing that compassion within the community, we can expect them to do the same on the bench. And we have to hold our elected officials accountable.
Right.
Even our judges, guess what?
Yeah.
After 6 years, you get a chance to vote yes or no and get them out.
Right.
If they're not doing all the things that they promised to do, if you've been before them and they've been biased, they haven't
Bias,
been...
that's the key, bias.
Yes, and they have not been fair, they have not been compassionate, they've been rude. How many times... Now, even
Rude, you're
not supposed to be rude to the litigants just because you're in a position of power, because actually you work for me, Mr. Judge or Mrs. Judge. I've had opportunities where I have come in the courtroom and dressed like the way I am now. I'm representing someone, and the clerk was like, "Okay, you're the defendant. Okay, my client is a man named Bob. So why would you just assume that I'm a defendant because of the color of my skin, or or because I'm a female, or whatever the case is? We want more people that look like us on the bench and for our community that can understand the things that we're saying. A lot of times the judge does not. I mean, that's the trier of fact. And the judge cannot empathize or sympathize or have compassion for us because in their neighborhood that never happens. Or I don't understand, that's unlikely story. I'm thinking to myself, no, Judge, it happens every day in Roseland. So we want, and that's why we have the sub-circuit, so we can elect people from our community to represent us on the bench. And the problem sometimes is that sometimes people just move into the community when they see that opportunity.
I mean, I think judges, they pave the road for your future. One decision that they make, that decision on that day that they make, can affect your world for the better or for the worse. And so you do need people with open minds who are fair, who are going to be up there looking at the situation and not just, like you're saying, just coming up there, just throwing out things and here it is, now the rest of your life is messed up.
Like you said, that one decision, that one case that I was telling you about, the decision that a judge made this young man when he was 17, now he's 49, and it's still affecting his life. So, the judges are very important. So we need to get to know the judges who are running, see what their record is, and make a determination based on that. And, not just, and that's why I'm out here in the community. I don't want people to go any more when they're picking those judges.
And that's what they do. I mean, when you go vote, most people don't know who the judges are. So I am so happy to see that there's so many out here now trying to get known and asking people, know who your judges are. It's so much power in that person sitting in that robe that you just can't understand it. They have ultimate power. I mean, there are things and guidelines they have to go by, but when they make those decisions, it's the profound effect that it has on you.
And that's a judge. Now, as a commissioner, Dion, people will call you in relationship to, you mentioned flooding, maybe they need biosolids, their springtime is coming, they want to take care of their lawn, or maybe they want you to go and give a talk at the school to talk about the environment. That's important also, especially with the kids, teaching the kids. What do you think about education?
I think the educational portion of it is extremely important because our world, water is life. And you and I say that all the time. That's one of our key slogans and of the water reclamation. And the solids and things. It's all about atmosphere and what's going on. And they go into the schools to teach the kids how to live a quality life, what water means, what the other materials that we work with means to them. Hopefully we'll get them involved in doing things in a much positive way in their communities and living a much more healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, it's because water is life. The good Lord made our body 65% of water.
Yes.
So let's not talk about protein.
Yeah.
Let's talk about let's talk about water. And one of our missions is to protect the water supply, Lake Michigan. So that's what we got to be concerned with, Dean. Is
Yes, definitely.
protecting that water supply. 'Cause,
That's right.
every creature, the good Lord made every creature depending on water.
I mean, when you go
Water.
when they go to these other planets, what are they looking for? For the first sign of life,
Right, right.
they're looking for water.
Water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
You know, when they go, I mean,
That's
they go to these
right.
planets, they're looking for water because
Yeah.
that says there's some shape, form, or fashion of some life on that planet.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is God's country. We're living in God's country here because we have what? The Great Lakes. We have Lake
Yeah,
Michigan
yeah,
right over
right.
here. And that's our water supply.
Right.
And that's what Dean wants to do is protect our water
Protect
supply,
our water
Lake
supply.
Michigan. So you see how you got a judge, and I like what you said, Chelsey, that I have a lot of friends that if they have to go to court, they're so afraid
Yeah.
to go before a judge for maybe a parking ticket or maybe for something.
Anything. It's-
They're afraid. My God, he said, Frank, would you come with me? He says, or, and that's why it's so important to know that when they elect Chelsey as the judge in the second
And
sub-circuit,
they're gonna punch for Chelsea 233.
Yes.
two,
three.
say it again.
Punch 233. A vote for you and a vote for me.
Yeah.
For Deion Dean, you're gonna punch 132. Clean water for you. That means we're gonna get together. I'm gonna work strong with Frank, whose number is 123.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like backward numbers, but we're still in this together.
Right.
And we're looking forward to the wealth of knowledge that he has. Once I get on that board, Frank, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. And I know we're going to have some good days being able to
yeah.
get out into the community
Yeah.
and talk to people together and unite and show that partnership and what we want to do in educating the people.
And listen, we got to listen to the community.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
that's the
important.
biggest-
Yeah, is anyone equal under the law?
Well, it's supposed to be equality under the law, and justice is supposed to be blind. But what I've been noticing, practicing these 23 years, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
And sometimes people on the north side may get a different justice than people on the south side. People with a better economic background will get a different justice from those that in the poor community. And that's, again, another reason why I'm running for judge, to make sure that we truly have equal justice under the law. Make sure that everybody is treated the same, and everybody has, as I stated, a meaningful day in court. And a lot of times people are afraid because of the way the judge talks to them or speaks to them, not with respect, pretty much makes them feel like they're going to lose no matter what. And we start there. We start there. And I think I would like to say, I believe that everybody just wants to be heard. Guess what? You're not going to win every case, but you want to feel like the judge listened to you, took your arguments seriously, and then made a decision, not as soon as you came up to the court and they saw how you were dressed and said, okay, this person is guilty.
Yeah.
So we're not really getting equal justice. We want to make sure that we put unbiased people on the bench, compassionate and fair, and people who are really seeking for equal justice, and not people who are willing to do what's right even when it's not what's popular.
Yeah. Right.
And that sometimes I feel like I'm wondering if that decision would have been different if it wasn't, you felt that you were going to get a backlash, especially from your political supporters or whoever. Because once you put on that robe, you have to have blinders on.
Yes.
You have to listen to that evidence. You have to let everybody have his or her day in court.
Yeah, that's true. Unbiased opinion. Unbiased.
Yes.
And listen. The key, the end is what? Listen.
Listen.
Because
You gotta listen. You gotta listen to the people, listen to whatever the situation is, review the situation.
The earth is my